Hey guys, so I've got a little bit of a new toy and I wanted to show it off. Yep, that's right. I ended up buying a 3D printer. Now, I have resisted doing this for a little while because I was like, I've got so many projects and things that I need to do, and I actually go through a couple of them on the bench today. But I was just like, I was looking it up and I just found things that I wanted to print and that I wanted to be able to experiment with. And you know what it's like, if you're an amateur radio operator, you find all these enclosures or boxes or parts, antenna parts that you want to make. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. So I ended up buying one. So this is the one that I bought. This is the Bamboo Labs P2S. And I got it with the combo, which is the AMS2 Pro. This was on special, and I also had a gift card, so it made the purchase even easier to do. I find this really, really cool. So at the moment, I'm actually printing a spool at the moment. I just got a big bunch of filament that arrived, but some of it is actually refills. So I wanted to get make a spool for it. So that's what it's actually making at the moment. It is 25% through, and it's got about another hour and 45 minutes or so. So I set this up down here in the shack. I actually had to rearrange some of the shelf here. So I've got some of my components. This is sort of some of my SMA and SDR and microwave stuff in these shelves in here, and move some bits and pieces. I got my test equipment down here. And the thing that I love about this particular printer, and the reason I'm showing this is a lot of people, I put a couple of photos up on social media and they were like, hey, what printer are you using? The reason why I got this is it's like almost literally plug and play. Like this particular model, this I found on the Maker World website, and you just punch it in and away it goes. You feed your filament up here in the top and it just starts printing. It's on some feet which are sort of stop the vibration, and it's here on this desk and nothing's moving, and it's reasonably quiet. It's actually not too bad. Not sure if you can hear it on the microphone at the moment, but all enclosed as well, so you can also do other material. I was thinking about doing some ABS, so I can do some enclosures for outdoors, and also use some PETG and stuff like that. Now, I actually printed this the other day. This was one of my first prints, a little Baofeng stand. I'll put the design below in the description, but it's got a little hole there in the back, so when you clip with the belt clip of the Baofeng, it clips on and you've got the USB-C exposed there, and it just sits there on the desk and looks rather nice. So I printed it in grey because that's all that I had at the time. But now I've got my other colours, I can probably reprint this. And the other thing that I printed here is a little case for the AIOC board. So this is a little two-piece thing. So if you've got an AIOC board, then you can pop it in there, and it fits quite nicely. I've got one here with the plug, so you can just pop that in there. And yeah, these are really good. I'm actually going to start printing these and having them for sale on my store as well. And I think that TO, he also sells the AIOCs too. So you can check the link in the description anyway for those if you want to get a case. But yeah, I've got a ton of stuff that I'm going to be printing with this. I was going to do some like antenna mounts for dipoles. I want to build a linked dipole antenna for SOTA. And also for POTA, because I've got an end-fed half-wave, and I've got a few 3D printed end-fed half-wave things that I've got from other people before. But I want to do a linked dipole, because then I can get a single center support, put the dipole at the top, and then have the legs coming down like an inverted V. And sometimes that works a little bit better than an end-fed. End-feds are good because you can use them as a sloper, but sometimes that doesn't work, especially if you're up on top of a mountain and depending on how you got to sort of set it up. So yeah, so I'm going to experiment a little bit with that. I know there's a couple of guys in our radio club, because we literally had a discussion on 3D printers the other day, and they are making lightweight, this is like a little bit of a competition, they're making lightweight insulators and things like that. So, which is really, really good. That they're experimenting, and that's the whole point of doing sort of this stuff. A couple of the other things that I've also been experimenting with lately too is I've got a whole pile of stuff here. There's a couple of reed switches and things, and this is an ESP32-C3 board. This is a Seed Studio board. So open this up. you'll see that. These look similar to the little mesh core boards. They come with a USB-C connector on them, but you connect in a Wi-Fi, there's a Wi-Fi antenna, sort of strip antenna in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as a sensor. I want to be able to detect when there's a door open, an outdoor door open. So I've got a reed switch there, which is going to then connect to the Wi-Fi, which is then will pair to Home Assist. So I've been playing around with Home Assist a little bit with that. So I've got those that I've got to experiment with. So they're sort of sitting off to the side. And I've also resurrected one of these. This is my old HP N40L micro server. These were super popular. Actually, it probably doesn't look that familiar. If I put that on, there you go. That looks a little bit more familiar. I've just taken the top off because I was experimenting with it. So these were an old micro server. I got this probably, I don't know, 15 years ago. And they had these 4 drive bays here in the front. I got an SSD in the top. You could also put another drive here. So I think there was like 6 drives or something you could put in this thing. And what I've been doing is, this was actually my old server, my old file server. And I've just upgraded this to another machine. But I still wanted to use this old hardware. So I've loaded TrueNAS on this and I've been experimenting with that to build a NAS. I know that it's kind of not really amateur radio related, but you know, I like tinkering and building, and I also need lots of storage for videos because these ham radio videos, they take up quite a lot of storage space, and cloud offerings just don't give you the same amount of storage. So if I can build my own, then that's really good. So I've got to experiment and see. I've got really old drives in this. Like, look at this. These are the original drives that I had that are like 10, 15 years old. Don't cringe. I know. They're green drives, but this is a 2T green drive that I had. And this thing lasted for years. Like, I'm actually surprised. And all the drives, I didn't have a single drive failure. So there's 2 green drives. I think there's a blue drive, and I think there's a standard Seagate in there. So yeah, I'm gonna turn this into a backup server with TrueNAS instead, and see how it goes. The motherboard, which is down there on the bottom, is a little bit underpowered. So I don't know what I can do about that, but anyway, that's sort of another project and another work in progress thing that I've been doing. And here's a whole bunch of different things as well. I've just been experimenting with the Toads DI digital interface board here, and I've just been trying to build a radioless node. So connecting this up for All-Star Link with a single microphone and a speaker. So I've got it half working. I'm going to do a video on that when I get that up and running. So yeah, apart from that, just been doing a couple of other things here and there. I do have a couple of video ideas, but they've just sort of been a little bit slow in the process work. So I just wanted to sort of release this as a bit of an update that I'm still around. I'm still doing certain things here and there. If you do have any suggestions, as always, pop them in the comments below about anything that you'd like to see me cover. I do have coming out soon a FT8 tips video. I haven't done an FT8 video in a little while, and I have been doing a little bit of FT8 and learning a couple of things as well. So that'll be coming out soon. So let me know in the comments anyway what you've 3D printed as well, or if you've got anything that I should be looking at. And hope to see you in the next video. 7-3, guys.